don't have to just believe it, and it's not just a system of philosophy, and it's not just a lifestyle. So, what is a correct Buddhism? So, one thing that all Buddhists have in common, whether they be Theravadan Buddhists, whether they be Mahayana Buddhists, whether they be Zen Buddhists, whether they be Vajrayana, Tibetan school Buddhists. Many people come to us from Europe, also practice in Tibetan Buddhism. But one thing that all Buddhists have in common is to take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So what's the difference? I often talk about this these days. What's the difference between believing and taking refuge? Taking refuge means not just believing, but listening and being part of. If you truly take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then you are part of the Sangha. Whether you shave your head or not is not always the point. If you listen to the Dharma and if you follow the Buddha, then you are part of the Sangha. You are. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha takes refuge in you if you are clear about who you are. So very important about this teaching is yourself, your true self. Already Chensi talked about your true self. So one of the last things the Buddha said before he passed into nirvana, or in lay words, before he died, one of the last things he said when one of his disciples said to him, "Oh, now you are passing away, our teacher is leaving us. Who will we follow? Who will be our teacher?" The Buddha said, "Be a lamp unto yourself. Be a refuge for others." So this was one of the last things that he said. Be a lamp unto yourself. So this is a very interesting point. Inside us, we all have this, we say, Buddha light or Buddha nature. We all have that. But we tend to ignore that and wander around looking for something outside ourselves. We think that there's something to get outside ourselves. But inside, there's something very powerful and very strong and very bright, and can also we can call that our mind light, we can say. It's not just the usual mind, because the usual mind we have, usually the usual mind wants something. Wants better food, wants to have more sleep, wants to have good sex, wants to have become famous, and of course wants to make lots of money. That's our usual kind of mind. Can somebody say, "Oh, I don't have that kind of mind"? Most people have one of those kinds of minds. If I desire one of those kinds of minds, most people have. But we also have, we say, our mind light. Or we say many different words to say, the master of your mind light, or your Buddha nature. Many words to describe that. And that's kind of hidden in there. And so you have to look for it, and you have to open up your mind to find out. So many Buddhist teachers say, "Oh, find your mind." But finding your mind, maybe you find it kind of doesn't look so good. Maybe your mind looks pretty, many kinds of desire, anger, things like that. But deep inside your mind is this light, or is this, we say, your true nature. That's the point. So, as many Korean Buddhists know, and many Koreans know, the lotus flower is a beautiful flower, and the lotus flower, it blooms all year, but especially in the warm weather, the lotus flower blooms very nice flower. But this flower doesn't grow in the very pleasant place. It grows in the swamp, where it's very muddy and kind of dirty. And out of the dirt comes this pure white lotus flower. So out of this angry and desirous and ignorance mind blooms this flower, of this pure flower. So if you're afraid of this mind that's anger and desire and ignorance, you cannot have this flower. These two are together. So very important is, how do you see this flower? How do you let this flower blossom? This is a point. So we practice here, and as we practice, our practice is not so difficult. Our first step is we ask, what is it that we call ourselves? And most people don't know what it is that they call themselves. So I always say to people who come for interviews, that's my hand, that's my hand, that's my head, that's my chest, it's my leg. These are all my things. These are all things I don't want to give away. I'm not going to give you my leg. I'm not going to give you these things. I don't want to lose them. But these are my things. These are just my things. What am I? Then if you go through these things, am I up here in my head? Am I down here in my mouth? Am I in my chest? Am I in my stomach? Am I in my legs? Where am I? Soon, if you really look at this, you soon see that you don't know. You don't know where you are. That everything you learned about who you are, you don't know if it's true or not. That everything you got so far. So we say first step is only don't know. Only go straight, don't know. Then, keeping this don't know is not so easy. So we say, put it all down. Put it all down is the next step. Put it all down means don't hold. Don't hold this confused, kind of lost feeling that we get when we don't know. But don't hold that. Just go straight. Just go straight like a train going down a railroad tracks. Just goes. Then, after put it all down, what? One more phrase. Don't make anything at all. Don't make anything. Okay. So it's very tempting then, after some practice, after some time of practice, after some time of effort, of making some effort to put it all down, or keep the thought. Then very tempting to make something. Wow, now I am this kind of new person. Now I am that. Now I have this new role. Everybody wants to make something. But it's not so difficult at first, but we can try not to make anything. If we don't make anything, there are much more possibilities. There are many more possibilities. So that means we can become a refuge for others. Other people say, oh, that's like my refuge, my sort of, my helper. Many people feel that way if we don't make anything at all. So that's a really kind of bit of an explanation about our Zen teaching.